right, here we go. So today's opener is going to be almost identical to your quiz that I have right here. You're going to have 2 simplifying square roots with variables and 1 multiplying square roots with variables. So almost identical to the opener. Let's take a look at the first 2. We're just simplifying each of these square roots. The only difference is that this time the square roots have variables in it. We're going to start the same way that we always do by factoring our radicand. So what numbers can I multiply together to get 770?
77.
So 10 and 77. And then what 2 numbers for 10? 2 and 5, and those are prime, so I'm going to circle them. And then what about for 77? 7 and 11. Both prime, so I circle them. I come to the right. I put these numbers in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to have 2 times. Okay, now I also have to include my variable, which is d to the 7th. From here, I circle my factor pairs. Do I have any factor pairs? No. So there are no factor pairs to circle. So that means the 2, the 5, the 7, and the 11 are all going to be stuck inside of the square root. So then I go to my variable. The exponent, is it odd or even? Odd. Because it is odd, I'm going to have 1d that's going to be stuck on the inside. So if I'm going to take 1d and keep it on the inside, I'm going to take 1 away from 7 and get, then what's half of 6? 3. So I'm going to have d to the 3rd on the outside. And then what am I all going to have left on the inside?
2 times 5. 7.
Times 11, which equals? 770. And then what else am I going to have stuck on the inside? D. 1D. Just remember, every single time that your variable has an odd exponent, you will always have 1 variable left on the inside. All right, let's look at the next one. Tony raised that. It took me for a second. I have 5 square root 162, a to the 11th, and then b. First thing I do, factor my radicand. So 162, what 2 numbers can I get multiplied together to get 162?
18 and 9.
18 and 9? Oh, I did. I put my big number first. I couldn't do that. All right, for 9, we know it's 3 and 3. What about for 18?
6 and 3.
Okay. And then for 6?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. After I put my equal sign here, what's the first thing I need to write?
2.
No.
Oh, the 5.
Yes, do not forget your coefficient 5. Then we're going to put our square root sign. And under the square root sign, how many 2's am I going to have? How many 3's?
4. I mean, yeah, 4.
1, 2. And then my variable.
8, 11, and D.
Okay. Next step is circle my pairs. Show that my pair cancels with the square root. So my number that's going to go on the outside is going to be what? So remember, I already have a coefficient of 5. What's going to join that 5 on the outside?
3.
And?
3.
Okay. So if we know we're taking a 3 and a 3 on the outside, that's going to be what? 3 times 3 is?
9.
And what's 9 times 5? 45. Okay, so there's my number part. So at this point, I know I have the 2 stuck on the inside because I didn't have a factor pair. Then I go to my variable. A to the 11th power, odd or even? Because it's odd, I'm going to underline it because one of those are going to be stuck. So I take 1 off of 11 and I get, what's half of 10?
5.
So A to the 5th on the outside. Then I go to B. If there's only 1 B in there, that's an odd number, right? And if there's only 1, that 1 B is going to stay put. Okay? So on the inside here, what number is going to stay in my radicand? 2. And what variable or variables?
B. A.
A, because it was odd, and B, because it had an odd exponent. Okay, once you get that, go ahead and flip your page over. On the back side, you have where you're multiplying square roots with variables. So when you multiply square roots with variables, you're going to go ahead and look and follow the multiplication rules. So, first thing I do when I multiply square roots, I multiply together my coefficients. So when I multiply my coefficients together, what do I get? Yeah, it's just going to be the 3 because there's only the 3. Then I factor my radicands. What can be multiplied together for 18? 2 and 9, 3 and 6, either of those work. For 9?
3.
And then can I factor the 2 over here? No, but I'm still going to circle it because I'm going to use that factor. Now with all these factors, what do I do with them? One square root sign for multiplication. So the factors I'm going to put under there is what?
2 and 3.
Wait, what is it? 2 times... No.
What?
What?
2 times E.
No.
2 times 2.
2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Don't forget that other 2 up there. Then times... Now, each of these have a variable. They're the same variables. So we're going to multiply those variables together because they're the same. So we're going to take e to the second times e to the ninth. When I multiply variables with exponents, I actually just add the exponents together. So if I add the exponents together, what do I end up with?
11.
Yeah, e to the 11th. Okay, what do I do with my pairs? Circle them. They're going to join what on the outside? The 3. So I'm going to have, what is my coefficient? Times. Okay, so what's 3 times 2? Times 3? 18. Now we look at our variable. Odd or even? So I'm going to underline it because that means one e is stuck on the inside. I'm going to take the 11 down to a 10. So I take 1 off of it. What's half of 10? E to the 5th on the outside. Now, what do I have on the inside?
2 and 3.
No?
Nothing.
Yeah, I do. What is underlined?
E.
E. So I underlined what I know is going to be on the inside, so when I get to that part, I remember. And that's your final answer. You guys are ready for this, right?